Hi folks, we're back today with another mailbag video, and this particular video is very special for a couple of reasons. If you are aware, I recently did a video looking at box protectors, these sort of plastic translucent shells, for want of a better phrase, that go around, in this instance, in this example, Game Boy boxes. So I made a short video recently about them, how I've started using them. Just looking at, are they any good? We had quite a good bit of feedback on that. People having different opinions and things like that. I was really pleased with that video. Now, off the back of that, I got in touch with a company, a website called GameBoxProtector.com. And after a couple of emails backwards and forwards, we agreed actually that they would be willing to sponsor this video that you're watching today. Which is massive for me. We've been working on this channel now for about 6 months. Slowly been gaining a nice bit of traction with views and followers. And to say that we've now officially got a sponsored video is fantastic. So yeah, thank you to the folks over at GameBoxProtector.com. They've agreed. They've sent me some things to look at to show you today on the channel. To give me an honest opinion on. Yeah, I'm not just going to, say it's good when it's not good. But having already checked out some of the stuff that they've sent me, I can tell you it's pretty exciting. They've also been absolutely fantastic with the generosity in offering viewers of this channel a 5% discount if you either follow through the click-through link that I'm going to place with the in the video description, or if you use the discount code DadLadGames with any purchases that you make. They're offering a 5% discount. So massive thanks to the guys and gals over at GameBoxProtector.com. So without further ado, let's start having a look at some of the things that they've got. So the first thing that we're going to look at, I'm going to start with what I might call the standard things. Is not that one, we'll come to that one later, a box protector for DVD cases. Okay, it doesn't just have to be PS2 games. We're talking OG Xbox, Wii, even your actual DVD films that you have on your shelf. So yeah, and again, very similar to the Game Boy ones that we looked at a couple of weeks ago. They're very easy to put together. Okay, they come flat packed, and it's basically just a case of folding them over, folding the tabs into the right place, popping your DVD in and closing it up. And you can get them back out, okay? They're not sort of trapped in there forever, but they really do just give nice sort of sharp edges to your collection, so that when they're sitting on the shelf, if they're coming in and out, you're not going to damage the plastic. Obviously, these DVD cases do take quite a lot of hammer. They are quite, what would you call it, like resistant to some good bangs. But obviously over time, especially if you've got your, the inlays just sort of peeking out the bottom there, or as it's going on and off the shelf, sort of your corners and things like that are going to start getting haggard over time. This is going to negate that, okay? These box protectors are going to stop that happening and keep old trips there looking in all his glory. So first one, like I say, I'm going to show you is this one for your standard DVDs. And like I say, what have we got? Wii, PS2, Xbox 360. There's a whole multitude of cases can fit inside these. Now the next one I'm going to show you is for the PS1, and I'm going to put this one together on camera. If I could just find it, got a little bit of a stack going on here. Is it this one? I believe it is. So I've just grabbed the PS1 game off the shelf. Obviously, a bit bigger than your standard jewel case, if you know anything about PS1 games. And this is how you would receive your box protector through the post. Okay, so it's got the just the clear film on the front. Don't forget to peel it off, otherwise you'll be wondering why it looks a bit misty. And then from there, it's just a case of unfolding it, bending it into shape, and I like to just sort of go against the folds there and get it all nice and unfolded, squashing it down. It can be a little bit fiddly from time to time. One of the best things I like about these is they are they feel good and solid. Okay, they're not super heavy, they're not super bulky, but they do give you a sense of, this is going to protect my game for years to come. Not waterproof, obviously, so you still need to be mindful of the fact that, if you're getting spills on them and they're going in sort of damp environments, that water is still going to get in there, that damp, so make sure you're keeping your games somewhere safe and dry. Once you've got sort of those main folds made, what you can do is then just go ahead and pop your game inside. Remember, keeping the tabs at the rear so that when they're all folded down, they're out of sight. And then once then, it's just a case of getting those tabs locked into place. I say locked, you can get them out, okay, they're not in there permanently. And then once it's started to get in there, it's just a case of just sort of pinching it and getting it nice and flush. I say a little bit fiddly. If you're like me, I have 10 thumbs, so sometimes I find things like this a little bit tricky, but actually on the whole it's not too hard, and the end results are fantastic. Yeah, they just look nice. So whether you're having them on display at home, on your shelf, or maybe they're just going into another box, it's just an extra layer of protection for them. Or perhaps you are, perhaps you're a seller or a vendor or something, and you think, actually, I want these on display. I want people to actually be able to pick them up and touch them and flip them over and look at the artwork and stuff. But I don't want grubby paw prints all over them as people are, looking across them. Have one of these on, and you're going to be able to let people have that sort of tactile experience without damaging your products. Right, moving on. We've got sort of two to look at once now. What they've sent me is ones for the Mega Drive, or actually really Sega boxes, should we say, because they house Master Systems as well, Master System games. But what we've got is two slight variations. We've got ones with tabs and ones without tabs. Now this obviously is personal preference. Perhaps over time, some of you might have ended up losing the tabs on the top of your cases if they've been snapped off or snipped off over time. But with a lot of them, what you can do is, you can pop them down. Sometimes they actually just snap down and they'll stay in place. So for there, we've got two different sizes of cases. We've got ones with tabs and ones without tabs. And they're both very similar, okay, in their makeup, in the way that they're folded and put together. So much, in fact, again, I will show you just popping one of these ones together. This is the one with the tabs. You can see it's slightly longer, just to take into account for that tab. I'm not a massive fan, if I'm honest, of having it with the tab on. But you know what? That's the great thing about everything, isn't it? We're all a little bit different. So it's personal preference. Exactly the same as with the PS1 case, okay? My recommendation for building these up would be, actually, have I picked up I think what I've done there is picked up a DVD one. Here we go. Blue Peter style. Here's what I made earlier. There we go. We'll try again. So, again, very similar look. We can take the plastic, the polythene off the side. And, again, my best advice for making these would be folding those tabs, those sides over first, then bending in the tabs, and once you've done a couple of these, it starts to become sort of like second nature. My top tip would be leaving the ends open as you slide your game in, and then close them afterwards. Just makes it a little bit easier to get everything all in. He says as he struggles to get it in. Ha. Right, so as we can see this time, once we've got that game in, we can close it up. That tab locks into place. And again, like I said, it's not permanent locking. it can be undone. Now, the reason I'm not a big fan of the ones with the tabs, if I'm honest, versus the ones without the tabs, is just I found them a little bit flimsy on top. Not the quality of the case build. The case build is fantastic. It's lovely thick plastic, but not bulky, okay? But I just feel that if I was perhaps putting 2 of these on top of each other, I would want to be having that sort of no tab feel when it's on the shelf. For me, it would just feel like it would just fit into the shelf, my shelving unit, a little bit easier. But like I say, it is personal preference. There's no reason that you couldn't have the tabs like this. It's not a reflection on the build quality whatsoever. They really are fantastic. The more and more I'm seeing of these, the more and more I'm thinking, do you know what? I think I need to go through my entire collection and put them in these, because I just like the way they look. They just look really shiny, and it probably sounds a bit silly, but I always like shiny things. So, yeah, I think I'm going to be making some personal purchases from Game Box Protector and getting a whole load of these. Originally, I thought, you know what, I'll just do my Game Boy games because of the cardboard that they're made of. That's going to deteriorate over time. But the more and more I put various games in these, the more and more I'm thinking, do you know what, I want to put my entire collection inside these protectors. Okay, the last 2 things I'm going to show you before we wrap up today. They're a little bit different, okay? And again, I didn't know that these things actually existed. I was very much aware of Mega Drive, Genesis, Game Boy, etc. However, folks over at Game Box Protector sent me some protection cases for cassette games and what they refer to as small box. Actually, their reference was small box Commodore 64. This is an Amstrad game, but this sort of smaller box game, which again, this is fantastic. I've got a whole stack of cassette games on the shelf, which, do you know, cassette cases are pretty durable, but they're not infallible. So actually, why not get these in some of these protectors as well? And, you know, I'm sure there's lots of people out there that have got lots of cassettes, either games or, you know, music cassettes from back in the day. Or actually, they're starting to, probably wouldn't call it a revival, but, you know, I see when I go and see local bands playing and things like that, and on Facebook, they've got their EPs and things available on cassette. It's a bit of a novelty item. So, you know, being able to have them for sale on display again in one of these things without risk of it getting, you know, damaged. You could even go as far as putting, you know, security RFID things in one of these on a plastic protector so that you're not having to place one on the actual cassette. You know, there's lots of uses for these things outside of their intended use, but again, I mean, it looks marvelous once it's in these. Okay, I've got a copy of Double Dragon 2: The Revenge here, and yeah, it's just now sitting proudly inside its plastic box protector, and it's going to keep it nice and safe for years to come. And then the last one that I'm going to show you today is this small box Commodore. This is an Amstrad game. So when I say small box, what we mean is around 140 by 110. It might actually be 111. Again, exact dimensions are on the website, but same process. You know, we slide the box in, get those folds going over, nice and neat, nice and snug, and I say any any struggles is purely a reflection on my 10 thumbs, not a reflection on the quality of the boxes. But like I say, once you've done one or two, the rest of them are, you know, you'll start to get the hang of it. Become a bit like a production line, a machine. So is this WrestleMania? This is my Amstrad. It's going in there. You can see, obviously, it's got signs of wear and tear. This game, it must have come out in the 80s. Or the very early 90s at best. You know, we're talking 30 years minimum. And although there is some wear and tear, I'm confident that now it's in this box, it will stand the test of time, and go on to fight another day. So that's bringing this video to an end. Like I say, last time we checked out Game Boy box protectors. Are they even worth it? Those weren't the ones from the guys and girls at GameBoxProtector.com, but please feel free to go and check that video out. It's only about 6 minutes long, and it just gives you an insight. I'm going to put the URL here with some voodoo. It should be appearing before your very eyes. I'll put all the information in the video description. Head over. Yeah, they're a fantastic group of people, really kind, really friendly. Answered lots of questions that I asked, that I had, and I said they've obviously offered to sponsor this video, giving us that code DadLadGames for a 5% discount. So yeah, go ahead and check it out. I cannot recommend them enough. Have a great day. I'll see you next time.